In the heart of ancient Rome, power was not given, it was taken. And one man would learn this rule better than anyone else. His name was Julius Caesar, a name that would echo for thousands of years. But before he became the most powerful man in Rome, he was just a boy watching a broken world. Rome was not the shining empire people imagine today. It was unstable, full of corruption, full of political violence, and ruled by fear disguised as law. Caesar was born into a noble family, but not a rich one. His family had history, but little real power. As a child, he saw something that shaped him forever. Power in Rome could disappear in a single day. All it took was the wrong alliance or the wrong enemy. So Caesar learned early, if you want to survive in Rome, you don't stay safe, you climb. When he grew older, he did not start as a general or a ruler. He started as a soldier and a student of politics. In the Roman army, Caesar was not the strongest man, but he was one of the smartest. He paid attention to everything, how generals spoke, how soldiers moved, how battles were won before they even began. He understood something others ignored. Wars are not won by strength alone, they are won by thinking ahead. But Caesar was not satisfied with being just a soldier. He wanted influence. So he entered Roman politics. And politics in Rome was far more dangerous than war, because in war, enemies are visible. In politics, enemies smile at you. Caesar formed alliances with powerful figures. He learned how to speak, persuade, and survive political traps. Slowly, he rose. People began to notice him, not because he was the richest, not because he was the oldest, but because he was always one step ahead. But every rise creates resistance. Some senators admired him, others feared him, because Caesar was not behaving like a normal politician. He was behaving like someone preparing to control Rome. And that fear slowly spread inside the Senate. At this time, Rome was controlled by a fragile balance of power. Any disruption could destroy everything, and Caesar was becoming that disruption. He was sent to Gaul, modern-day France, supposedly to govern and stabilize the region. But what he did there changed everything. He didn't just govern Gaul, he conquered it. Battle after battle, Caesar expanded Roman territory further than anyone expected. He fought tribes that Rome had never controlled before. He built roads, he organized armies, he became a legend among soldiers. But more importantly, he built loyalty. His soldiers did not just follow Rome anymore, they followed Caesar. And that was dangerous, because Rome had one rule that could not be broken. No single man should have absolute loyalty from an army. Back in Rome, politicians watched him carefully. Fear grew. If Caesar returned with his army, he would not just be a general, he would be unstoppable. And then came the moment that changed everything. Caesar stood at a small river called the Rubicon. On one side was Gaul, on the other side was Rome. Crossing it with an army was illegal. It meant rebellion, it meant war. Most men would hesitate. Caesar did not. He crossed. And as he stepped over that river, history changed forever. One simple action started a civil war. Rome erupted into chaos. Senators fled, alliances collapsed. The Republic began tearing itself apart. Caesar marched forward, not as a servant of Rome, but as its challenger. But this was not an easy victory. Rome was not weak, it was divided. Caesar faced powerful generals who opposed him, including Pompey, one of Rome's greatest military leaders. Civil war spread across the empire. Cities were destroyed, armies clashed, brothers fought brothers. But Caesar was consistent. He adapted faster, he thought faster, he moved faster, and slowly he began to win, one victory at a time. Pompey eventually fled and was killed in Egypt. Caesar followed him there, but instead of returning immediately to Rome, he became involved in Egyptian politics. There, he met Cleopatra, a young queen fighting for her throne. Caesar supported her claim, not just politically, but strategically. Together, they strengthened control over Egypt, and Caesar's influence grew even larger. When he finally returned to Rome, he was not the same man who left. He was more powerful than any Roman had ever been, and that was the problem. Rome had no official king. It was a republic. But Caesar's power looked like something else entirely. He was appointed dictator. At first, it was temporary, but then it started changing. His rule extended, his authority expanded, and slowly, fear returned. Many senators believed Caesar was turning into a king in all but name. And in Rome, the word king was dangerous. It represented tyranny. It represented the end of freedom. So a group of senators began to plan something extreme. They believed they were saving Rome. Among them was Brutus, a man Caesar trusted deeply, a man he considered almost like a son. But politics destroys trust, and fear destroys loyalty. The plan was simple: kill Caesar before he becomes king. On the Ides of March, Caesar entered the Senate. The room looked normal, calm, controlled, silent. But inside, tension was suffocating. Caesar was surrounded. Senators stood around him. Then the first blade struck, then another and another. Caesar was attacked by multiple men at once. Confusion filled the room, and among the attackers was Brutus. Caesar reportedly looked at him in shock, a betrayal deeper than any wound, and then he fell. Rome's most powerful man was gone. But what the senators believed would save Rome did the opposite. His death triggered chaos. Civil war returned. His allies rose for revenge, and out of the ashes of the Republic, a new empire would eventually rise, led by those who followed Caesar's legacy. Because in history, removing a leader does not erase his impact. It often strengthens it. Caesar died in the Senate, but the Roman Empire he shaped was just beginning.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more epic countdowns. See you next time.